Well, it's been a little while guys, but we're back. I'm down my local club lake for one purpose and one purpose only, and that is to see whether straight out the bag bottom baits are going to be better than tipping them off with a little bit of colour. Calm down, mate. So yeah, that's 1-0 to the bait tipped with half a pop-up. Normally it's night bites on here, but yeah, the middle rod has absolutely screamed off. Right, I've not even got the that rod back out yet, and this time, as I said during the fight, it was caught on that boilie straight out the bag. Now for a long time I've always had confidence putting a bit of yellow, a bit of white, a bit of pink onto my hook baits, whether that's half a pop-up or a bit of plastic, and that's how I fish. But having watched lots of underwater footage lately, it seems that the carp can shy away from anything buoyant and anything bright. So what I'm going to do is fish straight bottom baits on one rod and then tipped off with a little bit of colour how I normally fish on another rod, fish them on the same spot over the same baiting tactics and see which one is going to catch me more fish. I've only got a short 24-hour session, but this lake can be quite productive, so I'm hoping for a few fish, but time will tell. So I've just arrived in my swim, got my gear on the barra there. We're going to find out which tactic will catch more and hopefully put to bed any doubts in my mind and your mind over which tactic is going to be better. So without further ado, I'm going to get my gear set up, get the rods out and talk to you a little bit more about what we're doing. So why would you put something bright and buoyant on the end of your hook bait? Well, in years gone by, we've been led to believe that the added buoyancy would take away the weight of the hook, really. But the way I like to fish with mixed size baits, I don't think that matters too much, because the carp can't regulate their suck and blow when they pick up your bait based on the weight and the size of your hook bait. You know, you've got bigger baits and smaller baits and bits of crumb and stuff as well that I like to use. So it's not like they're picking up the exact same bait every time and then your hook bait is a little bit heavier because of the hook. So the need for that buoyancy, I think, is taken away by fishing mixed size baits. And also, you know, fishing a bright one, you kind of think, oh, well, they're going to see that one first and pick it up. But actually, you're making it look kind of suspicious to them. You know, if you've fed loose feed of plain boilies, they're going to come in and eat those. Why would you want your hook bait to stand out? So I think it'll be a really interesting test, this one, to see if I can get a bite on a bog standard boilie out the bag, and also to see whether I'll get more bites on the one tipped with a bit of bright versus the one out the bag as well. So I'm just getting my rigs and everything sorted now. Once I've got my hook baits and everything on, I'll quickly show you the setup before I put them out, and then hopefully over the course of the next few hours we might have a fish or two before dark, and then through the night and tomorrow morning, who knows, you know, we might get lucky and have a few. So I'll just get everything sorted and then I'll show you my rig. Right, so rig choices for this session. You may have seen on my channel a little while ago, I did a video called My New Favourite Rig, and basically this is it. So what it is like a D rig there, but instead of using like an amnesia like I used to do with a chod style hook, I've got a strippable coated braid, and the D is tied with the braid coated, so you get a nice stiff bit of a D section, and then near the hook I've got a little area stripped back. And I'm using mainline cell on this session. I've got a 14mm cell bottom bait there with half a 10mm milky toffee on top, and that is white, so that's my bit of bright on that one. And then the other one is exactly the same with just a cell 14mm bottom bait there. Hopefully you can see that. Now I'm using inlines on this session because it is a firm bottom. I'm not fishing very far out, and I feel like that gives me the best hooking potential rather than a lead clip, which gives the fish a bit too much movement, I think, before they move away and feel the weight of the lead. So an inline lead on a sort of a firm bottom is the best possible hooking potential there. And the rig is only about 7 inches long. Because I'm fishing over a tight patch of bait out of a bait boat, I know it's cheating, but I'm fishing under trees on an island, so there's no way I can cast there really. A bait boat gives me perfect accuracy, nice and stealthy, and saves me casting up a tree. So both rods are going out on an island right next to each other, and I'm going to put a little scattering of boilies over the top and a few bits of broken boilie in the boat as well, and a few whole ones. So it's the same baiting situation on the same spot with the same rig, and the only difference is going to be the hook bait. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see which one produces more fish if we're lucky enough to catch a few. Right, now I am going to be fishing 3 rods on this session because you are allowed on this lake, and I've got the 2 rods out that are in the test, but I've also got from a 3rd rod a white pop-up on a withy pool rig there. It's served me well in the past on lots of different lakes. Steve Renyard's invention, really good rig, and I just thought to be different I'd stick a pop-up out. This time of year, we're in autumn now, you know, there's a lot of leaves and stuff on the bottom, especially on this lake because it's surrounded by trees, so I thought I'd pop up just to give me a get out of jail card really, on a 3rd rod, but it's on a completely different spot, so this one won't be in the test, but I just thought I'd let you know what I'm using on my 3rd rod. Right, that is everything done. I've got all 3 rods out now, as you might see down behind me there, and it is only 4:30, so that's nice. Got a good couple of hours before it gets dark, so I'm going to be watching the water, looking for signs of fish. Hopefully some fish are going to come along those traps that I've put out. So basically the island you see behind me there, there's the corner of it. I've basically put my 2 rods that are sort of on the 2 different tactics over a scatter of about 20 baits or so, and then I sent the boat out in amongst that with kind of 10 baits in the boat, kind of crumbed up and whole as well, just so I know there's something around the rig, and I've got a bit of a spread around the area as well to hopefully keep the fish moving, give me a better chance of a bite as well. So yeah, those rods are my middle and my right hand rod, and then my left hand rod is going off over that way to the other corner of the island where I've had a few fish before. I think the island's an obvious patrol route. The fish are going to be going around there all the time, and this lake's actually got 2 big islands, and it doesn't look very big, but actually it's about 4 acres, but the islands kind of take up quite a lot of the middle of it, so it's an unusual lake. The fish are always moving around, so being on the island kind of under the overhanging trees is a really good area to be. So yeah, time will tell what's going to happen on the rods. I may or may not catch a fish, but hopefully I'll catch a few to make this kind of an interesting test. So let's get chilling out, let's get watching the water and see what the night brings. Right guys, it is 1 o'clock in the morning and we've just had this mid-double coming. Nothing to write home about, but it's the first fish of the session, so it's nice to be off the mark. And it was on the rod that had the half a pop-up on top, so a cell bottom bait with half of a milky toffee on top. Oh, he was just about to flip then. So yeah, that's 1-0 to the bait tipped with half a pop-up. We'll get this fish back after a couple of pictures. He's pretty lively, as you can see. And yeah, we'll get the rod back out and hopefully we'll have a couple more. And hopefully a little bit more sleep would be nice too. Normally it's night bites on here, but yeah, the middle rod has absolutely screamed off. Lifted the rod off the alarm, and the bobbin's gone through the middle of the alarm as well. And we've had this stunning 21-pound common, so if it's going to behave, I'll get it up and show you. There we go, what a nice looking fish that is. Really long and lean, quite old I would think by the looks of it. And it was on the rod, same tactic as the fish in the night, the one tipped with half a pop-up. So yeah, the other one has been out there all night just on a plain boilie and I've not had anything, so that's interesting. I might have to redo that other rod just to make sure it's not tangled or anything like that, because you know the fish have obviously been in and fed on the spot, and I can't believe that they haven't picked up that boilie. No reason why they shouldn't, you know. I'm sure they're feeding on the freebies that are out there, but yeah, 2 bites on the tipped boilie. So yeah, I'll get some pictures and get this one back. I'm absolutely buzzing because I didn't want to finish the session on just a single fish, mid-double. You know, it's nice to have a 20-pounder. That's 21 pound. Caught on the cell, tipped with half a milky toffee white pop-up. Get in, well pleased. Right, I've not even got the that rod back out yet, and the right-hand rod has gone. So there's obviously a few fish come in on those boilies that I put out on the island spot, and both rods have gone. So it just shows you the hook bait isn't all that important really, although it's taken longer for this one to go. It has gone eventually, so maybe having the bright one and a little bit of buoyancy has just helped get quicker bites on that other rod. And this one has just taken that little bit longer, but it looks like another fairly nice fish, maybe a scraper 20 common again. So that's 3 commons now, which is interesting because there's not actually that many commons in here as far as I know. Most of the fish I've had have been mirrors, and most of the pictures I see of other people's are mirrors as well. But although I have had a few commons out of here, and there is a 30-pound common in here that I've had before when it was about 29, before it made 30. But this is a really nice sort of slate grey looking fish compared to the other one, which was quite sort of orangey, bronzy colour. This is a real sort of bluish grey one, so I really hope we get it in the net so we can show it to you. I think we might get lucky and land this one. Come on, fella. Yes, nice. Yes, that's nice. Right, another nice common, guys. And this time, as I said during the fight, it was caught on that boilie straight out the bag. And do you know what? I can't remember the last time I fished a boilie straight out the bag. So it just shows you it does work. You don't always have to tip them off with something bright, although that has done me 2 bites on this session as well. So I don't think it matters. It's more down to location really, having a sharp hook and not baiting too heavily. And yeah, this one's 20 pound and about 4 ounces, I think it was, just over 20 pounds. So another 20 this morning, so it's been a good morning. And I've only got 1 rod fishing now, so I've got a meeting in a minute on the phone, and then after that I'll get the rods back out and I'll have a couple more hours before I've got to go. So time will tell, we may get another one before we go, but so far it's been really interesting. Right, so we're coming to the end of the session now. I've probably got about an hour left before I'm going to pack up. And as you can see behind me, the sun's come out now, and it's actually a really nice day after all that rain last night. But it does feel like bite time's kind of over, really. You know, the sun's out, it's warm, the fish probably aren't going to be feeding, they're just going to be cruising around, probably near the surface. And if I went looking for them and I had the time, I could maybe catch one off the top or in the margin or something like that. But I haven't got time, I've got to get off. So we've had 3 fish, really happy with that, you know, on an overnighter, 2 20s and a mid-double, not too bad really for a quick session. And it just goes to show you that it doesn't really matter your hook bait. You know, I've caught 1 on a bottom bait and 2 on the ones tipped with half a pop-up. So I can't say there's like a clear difference between them. And if I had more time, maybe it would have evened out even more. You know, I might have caught another one on the bottom bait. Time would have probably been a good factor to kind of suss that out, but you know, it is what it is. I've had my session and it's been an enjoyable one, to be honest with you. Even though it was wet and you know, a bit chilly overnight, I still had 3 fish and I had a nice time. So yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe, guys. It really does help me out. It doesn't cost you anything. It just means that it helps to grow the channel, tells the YouTube algorithm that people like the videos, and gets it out to more people. So yeah, if you've enjoyed it, give us a thumbs up, make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you next time.